Some changes. However, there will be one constant in the Alamo City, a Christmas tree downtown. Sarah Costa spoke with people as the big tree went up at Travis Park this morning.
This noon, police continue to search for a suspect in a deadly hit-and-run crash. What details officers are releasing about the case still ahead.
And this beautiful weather can't last forever. We're going to get a frontal boundary this weekend. Does mean some changes in our forecast. We'll let you know what it is coming up.
Live from KSAT 12. The news at noon starts right now.
And we start with late-breaking news on the northwest side. Fire crews at an apartment complex at the 1300 block of Gardena Street, not too far from I-10 and Vance Jackson.
You are looking live at the scene. As many as 17 units were called to the scene at 11 this morning. At least 6 apartments were heavily affected. Firefighters think the fire actually started in one of those apartments. Crews were able to stop the flames from spreading to other buildings. Firefighters say some people will be displaced, but no one was injured. One dog was also rescued.
A record 73,000 people are currently hospitalized with COVID-19 in the U.S., according to the COVID-19 tracking project.
And hospitalizations keep going up across much of the country. Many areas are tightening virus-related restrictions to help stop the spread. ABC's Rena Roy has the latest.
As COVID spreads fast across the country, with every state and U.S. territory seeing an increase in positive cases, at least 11 states and several large cities are now cracking down and tightening restrictions. This Friday, Philadelphia will close indoor dining, gyms, and pause youth sports through the end of the year.
It means no indoor parties, group meals, football watching groups, no visiting between households, no indoor weddings, funerals, baby showers.
1 million Americans diagnosed with COVID-19 just this week, according to the COVID tracking project. That's about 100 Americans diagnosed every minute. In Michigan, almost 13,000 new cases in one day. Dr. Dave Burkhardt, a resident at Spectrum Health in Grand Rapids, has been treating coronavirus patients since March and was recently diagnosed himself.
I got a package delivered to my door, and I remember going and picking up the package, and I was like, wow, I feel like I just ran a marathon, and I walked 10 steps.
In hard-hit El Paso, Texas, officials say ICUs are at capacity. A nurse there resigning, saying she wishes people had taken safety precautions more seriously.
You know, it's kind of a slap in the face when you call us heroes in the spring, and then in the fall, here we are working our butts off, and it doesn't seem like it's helping. People are dying.
And there is promising news on the vaccine front. Both Moderna and Pfizer say their vaccines are more than 90% effective. Now they're waiting for crucial safety data before applying for FDA emergency authorization, expected in the coming weeks. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Meantime, more than 70,000 cases have been reported in Bexar County since the start of the pandemic. And recently, we've seen a rise in the positivity rate. It now stands at 9.4%. All of that putting a strain on our local hospitals. Mayor Ron Nirenberg saying that hospitalizations are at a level that we have not seen since August. As of the latest report, 407 COVID-19 patients are in the hospital. That includes 66 people from El Paso. Metro Health also says 142 people are in the intensive care unit and 65 patients are on ventilators. No new deaths were reported, but we have more than 1,300 people who have died due to complications from the virus. Our 7-day rolling average now standing at 297, a slight drop since Friday.
There is a glimmer of hope. It's arrived in downtown San Antonio just in time for the holiday season. The annual HEB Christmas tree carefully lifted by a crane and placed at Travis Park. Sarah Costa was there as the tree arrived this morning.
Escorted by police officers, the massive con-color Christmas tree from the northern part of Michigan arrived at Travis Park this morning. For 36 years, HEB has brought the Christmas tradition to downtown San Antonio.
HEB's had this privilege of providing this gift to the city of San Antonio, and we certainly weren't going to let a pandemic halter us from doing that this year. We think everybody should be able to celebrate the holidays.
HEB, along with the city and its partners, carefully unloaded the tree and using extremely strong nylon cables lifted it off the truck. The logistics that go into moving this tree take a lot of thought, including a crane that is over 200 feet tall in order to lift the 50-foot tree that's estimated to weigh anywhere between 5,000 and 6,000 pounds. The more than 2-ton tree catching the eye of some passing by.
And when I got here, I saw the giant crane in the air, and then I spoke to the police officer and he told me what's going on, so I stuck around to wait and watch.
The tree will be decorated with lights and ribbons over the next week to be ready for a not-so-traditional tree lighting ceremony after Thanksgiving to keep everyone socially distanced and safe. The tree lighting this year will be virtual on Friday, November 27th, starting at 7 p.m. on HEB's YouTube channel. From Travis Park, I'm Sarah Acosta, KSAT 12 News.
The healthcare and bioscience industries have had an impact on our local economy, and a new study aims to take a closer look at what that really means. Right now, the San Antonio Chamber going over those results online. The report detailing the job and salary information, where the industry is headed, and the effect it's had on the San Antonio economy. The impact study was prepared by Dr. Richard Butler and Dr. Mary Stuffel of Trinity University. We'll have more on this story tonight at 5 and 6. Now to a traffic alert on the west side. A major intersection and a portion of Loop 410 is going to be closed tonight and tomorrow night. 2 main lanes of Loop 410 are going to be closed in both directions from Culebra Road to Ingram Road from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. The intersection at Loop 410 and Military Drive also will be closed. Crews are going to be working to demolish a bridge in that part of town.
A UTSA student's dreams dashed after she was killed in a crash last month on the west side. And this noon, police still haven't found the person responsible. Police say the crash happened back on October 24th near Evers and Fairford. Officers say a driver in a dark green Chevrolet Silverado made a left turn in front of the vehicle 27-year-old Janice Gould was in, causing the driver to lose control and crash into a stop sign. She was pronounced dead at the scene. And police are also looking for this person. They tell us he's accused of robbing a store on the northwest side. Officers say last Wednesday morning he showed up at the Circle K in the 2300 block of Babcock Road, not far from Wurzbach. Police tell us the man went into the store with a gun, stole some items, then he ran away. If you know something that can help police with either one of these cases, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers at 210-224-STOP.
A man who was sleeping under a bridge and killed by a man police say now may have been drinking. This noon, we're learning more about that victim. The Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office identifying him as 64-year-old Michael King. Police say last Thursday night, King was run over by a driver near Loop 410 in Vance Jackson. The driver later identified as 24-year-old Christian Alexis Casares. Police say Casares walked away from the scene, but officers were later able to find him. He's now charged with intoxication manslaughter. And a man should be okay after he was shot in the chest with bird shot. Police say the 30-year-old man was walking down East Hart Street near South Flores on the south side when a driver in a car pulled up and someone inside the vehicle pulled out a shotgun. Police say the man who was shot was able to knock on a couple of people's doors and was able to get help.
As of now, DeMar DeRozan is a San Antonio Spur, but will he stay a San Antonio Spur? More on that coming up in a few minutes in sports.
A good pair of shoes is something a lot of folks might take for granted. And for so many children in San Antonio, a need that is very real. How you can help make sure kids have the proper footwear. It's true. Something as simple as a good pair of shoes could make a big difference in a child's life. And that is why this month, KSAT Community is joining in the effort to make sure that kids have the proper footwear.
They're teaming up with the local nonprofit Zapatos and San Antonio Police Department for our Share the Shoes drive. Max Massey explains how you can take part.
This past year has been so tough for families in and around our community, but now through the month of November, KSAT is partnering up with Zapatos and San Antonio Police for our Share the Shoes program. Joined here, Officer Aguero. So, Officer, you are out and about in the community. What does the need for shoes for families and children in our community look like?
Well, especially this year with COVID hitting so hard, one of the greater needs we do see is for children is for shoes. Some children only have a pair of shoes for the whole school year or get hand-me-downs from their siblings. You know, we like to partner up with Los Zapatos to get children good footwear, you know, for their feet so that they have warm feet, so they're healthy and safe throughout the year. And we're talking about our littlest kids, our kindergarten age kids, all the way up to our young adults in high school. We take all sizes. There's always a need for our teenager size shoes. But anything we can get, we're looking for help from the community, and we really do appreciate.
Now, anyone who does want to help out, how can they do that? How can they donate?
So you can come to any one of your San Antonio Police Department substations, and you can ring on the doorbell on the outside, let them know you're here. You can drop off whatever shoes you have. It's no contact. When you step away and a safe distance, we will come out and collect the shoes.
All right, officer, thank you so much. And like she was saying, guys, it is not just baby shoes or young children's shoes. They also need young adult shoes. And a little insider info, not doing so hot this year. We know COVID has hit a lot of families really hard, but last year they had a couple thousand pairs. Right now, we're just at 57 pairs. So if you can help out, donate, help the families in and around San Antonio. If you have any questions, just head to KSAT.com. Max Massey, KSAT 12 News.
Thanks so much, Max. Looking outside, not even a cloud. Another gorgeous day.
Not one. It is beautiful. We're at 71 degrees right now. Another great day. We started off cool this morning. We'll end up fairly warm this afternoon. The aquifer is down 0.7 of a foot. It's at 658.9. We need some help there. And there is a little bit of rain in the forecast. Otherwise, mold is low. No big problems in the pollen count. We'll take a look at our rain chances for this weekend coming up.
Remember in the summer we used to always complain it'd be just boring because it was the same old thing over and over.
But it was like brutally hot.
It was so hot. Now it's not boring. It's the same thing over and over, but it's not boring.
I got to commend everyone who went to work today because it's just been so tempting to stay home.
Well, the thing about it is a lot of people are like, you know, working on their patios now. Mm-hmm. This is great weather for that. It is, yes, the pattern's a little boring, but with weather like this, you're not complaining, right? We got the low 70s at this hour. We started off in the 40s this morning. 44 was the low here in San Antonio. Did get down to 33 in Kerrville, 34 Fredericksburg, but no freezing temperatures on the map this morning, and we've seen that rapid warm up. Take a look at the time lapse. Beautiful sunrise, clear skies, and again, right now we're sitting at 71 here in San Antonio. And we may see a few thin high clouds come across the sky today, but they'll be very thin and won't be a problem at all. 73 in New Braunfels, 68 Canyon Lake, 71 in Comfort, 70 in Bandera, 68 in Tarpley. Great weather is all around us. 72 Victoria, 72 in Kennedy. And the dew points, they're awful low today. Powder dry out there, but we'll see the dew points start to jump up. And by tomorrow, there may be enough there to get a brief morning cloud deck. If we do see one, it's not going to last very long. But by Thursday and Friday, some fog and some morning clouds will probably drift back in here. And by Saturday, we could see some morning drizzle. So you definitely will notice the humidity a little bit more by the end of the week and the weekend. And then hopefully that eventually leads to some rain on Sunday. And boy, do we need it. Worst way. Our dry streak here. It has been since September 21st, 56 days ago, since we received 1/10 of an inch or more of rainfall. And the situation just keeps getting worse. We showed you the drought monitor for the state of Texas, which is not great for us, but look at the whole western half of the country. It is not just Texas. It is a large portion of the United States that is in need of rainfall. And of course, we had a lot of wildfires out west. This is the reason, one of the reasons. And rainfall has just not been there. I'm looking at the radar right now. Not much there. There is some rain and some snow in the higher elevations as you get up into the Pacific Northwest. So places like Portland and Seattle seeing some rain. And some of this energy may eventually make its way down into Texas as we get into the weekend, as we mentioned. So let's play it out here. Tomorrow into Thursday, maybe just some brief morning clouds, maybe some fog. And then Saturday, we'll have some clouds again, maybe even a little bit of drizzle Saturday morning. Not much in the way of rainfall on Saturday. But it's Sunday, as this front gets a little bit closer, that we should see some rain chances start to inch up a little bit. We still have about a 30% shot. And we're still working out the timing a little bit here, depending on which model you look at. But we think late on Sunday, that rain chance will be there. And then again on Monday, we could get some overrunning. And that may lead to some more light showers as another little piece of energy comes through. So it's looking better. I don't know that it's going to be a drought buster for us, but at least there is rain in the forecast. Rest of today, we'll be at 75 by 3 o'clock, up to 75 probably for our high, and then down to 73 at 5 o'clock, 66, 7 p.m., and then we'll quickly fall down into the 50s by tomorrow morning, and probably eventually some 40s out there as well. We're going with 46 for the low here in San Antonio. We'll be up around 75 Wednesday, 77 Thursday, upper 70s Friday and Saturday with some morning clouds. And there's our chance for rain, 30% on Sunday, 20% chance as it stands right now on Monday. Hopefully as we get a little bit closer, we can raise those rain chances some. But it has been sort of a rough fall. We typically expect fronts, and we typically expect rain with those fronts, and that just has not materialized this year, guys.
Very dry. Lots of vitamin D, though.
That's true.
Hey, the Aggies are getting hit again by COVID-19, we'll explain. And the Longhorns getting ready for the Jayhawks. A lot riding on this one for UT. Don't want to slip up against a winless team. So there's some good news for the San Antonio Spurs. DeMar DeRozan has opted in to the final year of his contract with the Spurs that will pay him $27.7 million this upcoming season. The Spurs organization made the official announcement last night. DeRozan said he is looking forward to training camp and building on the high level of play we showed in Orlando. DeRozan is one of the players that the Spurs use to keep that rumor mill churning, or Spurs fans do anyway. So we'll see if he's still with the team next month when they can open up training camp December 1st. Hey, just when the Aggies are climbing up the SEC ladder, they got stuck on a rung again. They've had to postpone a game for the second week in a row due to positive coronavirus tests and contact tracing. Last week, they had to postpone their game against Tennessee until December 12th. Now the Aggies have to postpone their game against Ole Miss at home this Saturday. The reason given, due to the continued quarantine of individuals within the Texas A&M football program. A tough break considering the Aggies were the hottest team in college football and ranked number 5 in the country. Head coach Jimbo Fisher is looking at the bright side, though.
You turn it all into a positive. You know, you get a chance to heal up a little bit maybe, and some guys are nicked and knacked, and later in the year, get some health, get some film, get some things to hear. And I don't mean this. And you always, everybody has the ultimate goal. You want to be in the playoffs. You want to go win it. But right now, we're trying to control and stay in the moment where we're at. And like I said, if we keep taking care of our business and playing well, then we'll have those opportunities at the end.
All right, since the Aggies already have a game scheduled on December 12th, the only other available date, as allowed by the SEC, would be December 19th. The same day the SEC championship game is scheduled. So maybe they'll play somebody different. And the Texas Longhorns are coming off a bye week, getting ready for the winless Kansas Jayhawks this week on the road. Now, the Longhorns currently stand at 5-2 overall, 4-2 in the Big 12, while they're on a 3-game winning streak since their quadruple overtime loss to Oklahoma in the Cotton Bowl. And when the Horns look at last year's game with Kansas, they check out that film. They'll get a wake-up call. They won with a last-second field goal, 50-48, so the Horns are taking nothing for granted.
You obviously look at a record and can be, if you're not mature enough, can be swayed by that record. I think, though, we've got a mature group of guys that have gotten tremendously better, both individually and as a team throughout the season. And recent history has shown that we're going to need to bring our A game to win the game and do the things that we know that we're capable of doing.
Kickoff in Lawrence set for 2:30 this Saturday. After the UTSA Roadrunners postponed their first game of the season against Rice due to COVID-19 and contact tracing, it turns out it was the break they needed. After playing 8 straight games with a 4-4 record, the Roadrunners routed UTEP 52-21 in a record-setting offensive performance this last weekend. Frank Harris played his best game of his college career, completing 22 of 26 passes for 312 yards and 3 touchdowns in the air and another 2 on the ground. All this with 11 players missing due to COVID-19 and his star running back, Sincere McCormick, out celebrating the birth of his baby girl. So is it safe to say, even with Josh Adkins returning from his injury, there's no quarterback controversy at UTSA?
When a kid goes 22 for 26 over 300 yards and plays the way he did, a quarterback battle would not be the way I would describe the UTSA Roadrunners. And Josh Adkins is a very good player.
So I'm going to go out on a limb and say the answer is no quarterback controversy Former Justin Rocket Rashad Wisdom was named the Conference USA Defensive Player of the Week after he led the Roadrunners with 9 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, and 7 solo shots. All this after the Roadrunners found out Friday their defensive coordinator, Tyron Nix, had been placed on administrative leave to an internal investigation. So things are looking pretty good for the players on the field.
Absolutely. Still ahead in our next half hour, Amazon giving the pharmaceutical industry a try. We have details on the medicine being offered online now.
And a dire warning from President-elect Joe Biden to Americans. Up next, what he says will happen if President Donald Trump's administration keeps refusing to participate in a peaceful transition of power. We begin this half hour with tensions between the U.S. and Iran after President Donald Trump reportedly considered a military strike.
This as he is still not conceding the election or coordinating with the incoming Biden administration. ABC's Alex Brachet has the latest from Washington.
A dire warning from President-elect Joe Biden to Americans if President Trump's administration keeps refusing to participate in a peaceful transition of power.
More people may die if we don't coordinate.
The future president worries delays in a transition to his government will slow a distribution of the COVID-19 vaccine.
If we have to wait until January 20th to start that planning, it puts us behind over a month and a half.
Members of Biden's coronavirus advisory team detailing the challenges ahead.
If we miss this opportunity to coordinate now, we could experience hiccups or delays that really we don't need to see.
But President Trump continues to falsely claim the election was rigged, even though his legal team has been defeated time and time again in court, with judges in several states finding no evidence of widespread fraud. With President Trump's head of the General Services Administration, which authorizes the transition, refusing to acknowledge Biden's win, his team is being blocked from receiving classified intelligence briefings and coordinating with agencies. For now, Biden's relying on briefings with his outside experts, and at least some classified intel is getting to his team through Vice President-elect Kamala Harris, who has access through the Senate Intelligence Committee. And today, growing concern about U.S. foreign relations. As we enter our 20th year in Afghanistan, President Trump planning to draw down troops there from 4,500 to 2,500 by January. NATO warning the cost of the U.S. leaving the region could be high. As first reported in the New York Times, sources confirming to ABC News that the president asked his top security advisors what options were available to conduct a military strike on Iran's nuclear facilities. President Trump reportedly talked out of the plan by top aides, warning him it could lead to a bigger conflict. Iran's already responded, saying any U.S. attack would face a crushing response.
President-elect Biden said this fall that he supported keeping a small U.S. presence in Afghanistan. But even if he agrees with President Trump on the number of U.S. service members there, if the move results in any increased instability, that's another issue the Biden administration will inherit on Inauguration Day. Alex Brachet, ABC News, Washington.
The Senate Judiciary Committee is holding a hearing to question the CEOs of Facebook and Twitter regarding their company's actions around the closely contested presidential election. The problem is the senators are deeply divided by party over the integrity and results of the election itself. Prominent Republican senators have refused to knock down Trump's unfounded claims of voting irregularities and fraud, even as misinformation disputing Biden's victory has flourished online. The hearing is expected to take place today.
Retail sales in the United States continuing to struggle amid the pandemic. In October, it only grew 3%, despite tons of early holiday discounts that were online and in stores. Analysts had expected the number to go up to at least 5%. This week's retail sales report is the 6th straight month of growth. Retail sales plunged in the spring after stores and malls were ordered closed to help prevent the spread of the coronavirus.
Hurricane Iota moving through the northern part of Nicaragua after making landfall as a Category 4 hurricane. Yesterday, Iota intensified into an extremely dangerous Category 5 storm, but the U.S. National Hurricane Center says it actually weakened slightly as it neared the coast. The previous storm to hit that area, Iota, had torrential rains that saturated the soil in the region, leaving the land new deadly landslides and floods.
Live look outside. It is simply gorgeous and rain-free. That's not so good.
No, that's not so good. But we're sort of running out of adjectives to describe how nice this stretch of weather has been. It is a really beautiful day. You just saw some of the images coming out of Nicaragua. Let's take a look at where Iota is right now. It's now a tropical storm, not a hurricane. Winds are at 65 miles per hour. It's moving west at about 12 miles per hour and producing a ton of heavy rain. Mudslides, a real issue now there in Honduras and Nicaragua. Take a look at how close Eta and Iota were, about 15 miles difference. That's it. Both of these were Category 4 storms when they made landfall, 13 days apart. That is basically unheard of. So just a ton of damage here on the coast of Nicaragua and an unfortunate situation. For us, we mentioned the beautiful weather. It's a good day to work from home on your porch, perhaps. We'll get temperatures in the 70s this afternoon. We'll be up around 75 for a high. We'll drop down into the 50s by 10 o'clock. A beautiful evening. And you see the numbers across the state right now. Comfortable no matter where you go. 60s and 70s for the Lone Star State. And our forecast, again, calls for a high right around 75 later today. Guys?
Thanks, Justin. This year, more people might be looking to have their holiday meals catered or delivered. Still ahead, a look at some of the places taking orders right now.
Plus, going one-on-one with the champ himself. Later on in sports, we're checking in on the pride and joy of the Alamo City, Mario Barrios.
Some Hulu customers can expect higher bills from the company pretty soon. Why the streaming service is raising some of its prices.
Never miss a story. Watch live or when you want. San Antonio's latest news and weather. Streaming free on KSAT TV.
Hello, everyone. This is your daily tech and business briefing from Cheddar. Hulu is hiking their prices for their live TV bundle by $10 a month. Now, the service, which currently costs $55 a month, now going to jump to $65 starting in December. This marks the second time that Hulu has raised their prices for their live TV bundle. It comes as Hulu is adding new channels and updated content to the service. Meanwhile, yet another retailer has been hit hard by the pandemic. Fashion retailer Francesca is announcing they're going to close roughly 140 of their stores as a result of declining foot traffic and temporary store closures. That represents roughly 20% of their fleet of stores. Now, the retailer warns that they may even have to file for bankruptcy to help alleviate their multi-million-dollar debt. And Apple is launching their newest generation of computers today, powered by their newest Apple chips instead of the outsourced ones from Intel. Now, these chips, called the M1, will be part of the family of chips called Apple Silicon, which are used in iPhones and iPads. The chips will be used in Apple's latest versions of their MacBook Air, their 13-inch MacBook Pro, and the Mac Mini. And that's your Cheddar Business to Tech Update. I'm Becca Machado, coming to you from Cheddar Studios in Lower Manhattan.
The 4 members of the SpaceX Crew 1 have officially arrived at the International Space Station. They're going to be calling it their new home for about 6 months. The Dragon capsule pulled up and docked late last night, following a 27-hour completely automated flight from NASA's Kennedy Space Center. The link-up occurred 262 miles above Idaho. The 3 Americans and 1 Japanese astronaut are going to remain in the orbiting lab until their replacements arrive on another Dragon in April.
It looks like Amazon joining the pharmacy industry. It'll now be providing insulin and inhalers. The company opened an online pharmacy today that allows customers to order medication or prescription refills and have them delivered to the front door in just a couple of days. Most insurance is accepted, Amazon said, but Prime members who don't have insurance can also buy generic or brand name drugs from Amazon for a discount.
If you're used to cooking for a big group around the holidays, you might find it's a drag trimming down those recipes for the smaller group. Well, why not order Thanksgiving dinner this year and let someone else do the cooking? Right now on KSAT.com, we have a list of places in our area that are offering Thanksgiving meals for people who don't feel like cooking. The list includes barbecue spots like Bill Miller's and Smoky Moe's, Italian restaurants and grocery stores like H-E-B and Trader Joe's. You can even order a Cajun deep-fried turkey from Acadiana Cafe. That's not a bad idea. Just be sure to place your orders as soon as possible, since a lot of places have a limit on the number of orders that they will take. And take a look. Just search for the keyword holidays on KSAT.com.
If you are not stuck in the kitchen cooking for the holidays, why not watch some Christmas movies and get paid for it? The website reviews.org is hiring a holiday cheermeister. As part of the job, you're going to have to watch 25 holiday movies in 25 days. That sounds rough. The chosen applicant will get paid $2,500, and they'll get a year's worth of streaming from 7 major streaming platforms. To apply, go to reviews.org. Really?
I bet you A Christmas Story is on that list.
I would hope so.
Are they new movies or old movies, though?
I imagine they're old movies
Think
and
so?
movies, yes.
And Ursula, I feel like you're seriously considering the Cajun turkey. Like I saw you over there, like
caught
really.
my eye. You know, I've fried turkeys in the past, and it's the best way to cook them, but it is messy, and it requires special equipment, so.
Yeah, got to be careful.
Got to be very careful.
71 so far today. 44 was the low this morning, so we've warmed up quite a bit. 72 is the average high, 50 the average low. Records are 89 and 30, set back in 2013 and 1959. We do have some cooler air on the way. Frontal boundary will cool us down, especially next week. We have a look at those numbers coming up.
Film director Judd Apatow is making a comedy that takes place during the pandemic. The untitled Netflix film follows a group of actors and actresses who are stuck inside a pandemic bubble at a hotel, attempting to complete a film. He will be directing and co-writing the script with the writer of South Park, so you know it's going to be funny. No word on who'll star, but we could be seeing that movie quite soon.
I was going to say, I hope it is funny, because we need a good laugh every now and then these days.
Yeah, I noticed that a lot of shows on TV nowadays have built in coronavirus into the storyline again, so a little different.
Yeah, but a good laugh every now and then.
Yeah, at least we don't have a new named hurricane.
We don't.
This is the first time in about 5 months we haven't talked about a hurricane.
It feels like it's been a while.
I mean, we're going to talk about a hurricane, just not a new one.
Well, this is a tropical storm now, so we don't have any hurricanes on the map. That is a true statement. And in fact, beyond Tropical Storm Iota, there is nothing else out in the Atlantic. Let's hope it stays that way. I think we've had enough. Okay, it's 2020. Atlantic hurricane season has been something else. Iota is now moving inland. It's still across parts of Nicaragua, moving to the Nicaragua-Honduras border, and it's producing a ton of heavy rain. Now, this is a really mountainous territory in there, so you're going to get a lot of mudslides, and that's what they're really concerned about. Not to mention the winds and the storm surge that also did quite a bit of damage there along the coast. Winds right now are at 65 miles per hour, gusting to 90. It's moving west at about 12 miles per hour. This will continue to weaken even as it moves out into the Pacific. This is not expected to take a northern track like Ada did. This is going to just die down. But we talked about the proximity of these two systems making landfall just 15 miles apart. 2 Category 4 storms. Iota was almost a Category 5, but just incredible, pretty much unheard of to get 2 major hurricanes like that close together. But it is 2020. I mean, this year has brought us a lot of interesting things out here in the Atlantic, and that's what they're dealing with there in Central America. Let's talk about the names. We continue to get asked, and it's a fair question, what happens if we get through all the Greek names? I don't think that can happen. I really don't. There's a lot left, and that would close to pretty much be impossible. I mean, we've seen a ton of storms this year, but if we did get another named storm, it would be Kappa, if you were curious. And we still have some more time. It's possible that we could get some more activity out in the Atlantic, but nothing right now. Outside, we've got blue skies, 71 at the airport, 69 Stinson, 71 Kelly. Easterly winds anywhere from 5 to 10 miles per hour, 70 at Randolph. I mean, this is gorgeous weather. This is gorgeous, take your lunch outside type weather. 73 in New Braunfels, 68 Canyon Lake, 73 in Comfort. For our eastern counties, 74 in Gonzales, 73 in LaGrange. Still some 60s as you get up towards Junction and Rock Springs at this hour, and dew points are very low. The air is extremely dry, and that's when you get those nice swings from the morning lows to the very comfortable afternoon highs. There will be one little change as we get into tomorrow. We'll start to see some moisture build to our south. That may be just enough to give us a little bit of a low cloud deck. If it happens, it'll be very, very brief. And then as we get into Thursday, moisture will continue to increase, and then you'll start to see a noticeable change. That may allow for some fog as we get into Thursday morning and even Friday morning as well, as dew points continue to increase into the weekend. So it does get a little more sticky outside. No cloud cover at the moment. We noticed some thin high clouds off to the north and west. Some of those will skirt through the area today. Not a big deal. Certainly won't affect temperatures at all, but you can see that on water vapor. There is a little bit of high-level Pacific moisture starting to come into South Texas. We're sort of grasping at straws here because there's not a lot to talk about. So let's talk about some thin high clouds. There's no rain out there. And as we go forward in time, this is Thursday. We mentioned some of the fog and low cloudiness. That's possible again on Saturday too. But any sort of rain chance is going to hold off until Sunday. And that's when we get our frontal boundary in here. Should kick off some showers. We're not really expecting any thunderstorms, and this is not going to be widespread heavy rain, I'll tell you that. But at least there will be some rain around. We'll get the chance to use the radar. Feels like it's been a while since we've got to utilize the radar. And then on Monday, maybe some showers behind the front as well with some overrunning. And it will be cooler next week. Temperatures up around 75 for a high today, and then slipping down into the 60s and eventually 50s tonight into tomorrow morning. We'll start off at 46 actually on your Wednesday, 75 for a high, 77 Thursday, upper 70s into the weekend. And that cold front brings a 30% chance of rain. Probably cools us down into the 60s for highs on Monday, guys.
All right, got my turtlenecks ready to go.
Coming up after the break, El Azteca is preparing for his next fight. Our Larry Ramirez meets up with the Southwest High School grad to see what it was really like for him in the boxing bubble downtown. Champions never rest, and El Azteca already preparing for his next fight. Back on Halloween night, Mario Barrios put on a show in the Alamodome against a longtime friend. So how did the Southwest High School grad grade himself on his lone performance this year, and what was it like in the boxing bubble downtown? Larry Ramirez went one-on-one with the champ himself, the pride and joy of the Alamo City.
Introducing Mario El Azteca Barrios. Walk me through your fight against the Cowboy. Did you take care of business like you thought you would?
Yeah, no, I mean, I went in there, we did exactly what we had planned, which was, in the beginning, just stay patient. Me and Ryan have known each other for a very long time. I knew the type of fight that he was going to bring, and which was going to be, just pressuring, making it, a rough and rugged fight. But I was being patient there, started to establish my jab, was landing some big body shots when he would come on the inside. And then the sixth round, it just, it became too much for him.
I rate my performance maybe a B. I mean, of course, there's other things that you can work on.
What did you need to do to give yourself an A?
I mean, there's a lot of stuff I could have done more on the inside. When he was making it a rough fight, I mean, of course, me being a fighter, I could use the jab more. You can never use the jab too much. But I think those two for sure, I mean, were the definite things I could have worked on.
What does that mean to you now that it's sunk in a little bit? You are the first San Antonio boxer to defend that belt.
I'd only found out about that maybe like a week or two before the actual fight. On the 1031, I was going to be the first. Like, if I defended it successfully, I would be the first one. And it just made that night that much better. I mean, especially given that defense was in front of my hometown fans at the Alamodome.
Once you were done, man, what kind of relief was it for you to be out of the bubble?
Oh man, I guess was too excited to get out of the bubble. I didn't really see much of the main event. I went right back to the hotel, picked up my luggage, got some mini tacos, and came home.
How difficult was that for you to be in the bubble? Because I mean, I've never had to experience anything like that.
It was pretty terrible. The way I described it to my sisters, it felt like I was like a hamster at like PetSmart. I was in San Antonio for a week.
Yeah.
I was away for 3 months, but I really wasn't in San Antonio. I was just in the hotel. I couldn't walk outside. I couldn't do anything.
Mario El Azteca Barrios. When you look at this belt, seriously, I mean, when you see that, what does it mean to you when you think back years ago when you first started training? And here you are. It's just got to be so surreal for you.
Yeah, no, it really is just all of my hard work wrapped up in one item. And I mean, this is the first of many to come. I mean, there's still so much more work for me to do in the sport. and so much more to accomplish. Again, not only for myself, but for the city of San Antonio.
Once again, that was Larry Ramirez reporting, and we want to congratulate Mario one more time, and we want to thank him for inviting us into his home to talk to him in person. Now, next Sunday, we're going to air part 2 of Larry's interview on Instant Replay. Barrios will talk about the future of his pro career and what he's really fighting for in his personal life every time he enters the ring.
Well, yesterday, we weren't quite sure if SA Live was going to make it back to Market Square, but it looks like they did.
Magically appeared. And,
we are still here.
Yes.
And it's time to celebrate.
We're still celebrating all week long.
The balloons, hey, from Balloons Boutique SA, they decorated our place for us, and big party going on too.
That's right. Of course, the Cortez family and Mi Familia are getting ready to celebrate a first birthday, and we're going to tell you which restaurant coming up.
We're celebrating bagels, not any bagels, Boss Bagels. I'm going to learn how to make these things. Complicated process, but it is worth it. And hey, take a look. We've got giant robots on the show. Why not? It's a Tuesday. We're going to tell you about these folks as well.
And Disney on Ice skates back into San Antonio. We talked to a Disney princess about the new performances and, of course, what you're going to see in the show this year.
Also, they are our shelled friends, Turtle. There's a local turtle rescue we are going to introduce you to.
And we just want to, of course, let you know we caught up with Tayshia Adams, the new Bachelorette, and got the dish on what to watch for this season.
That's the whole controversy. With One Laugh, she took over. Ooh, hey, and okay, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Is it sounding like Christmas? Have you started playing Christmas music? Yes, all the programs and channels.
We know his answer. Yes. But weigh in on social media. Let us know at SA Live KSAT on Facebook and Twitter. And we'll share those answers in the show in just a few minutes.
Bagels.